get colder and we wrap up our outdoor gardens, but there is a way to keep the growing going with houseplants that not only look beautiful, but also produce food. Here to show us the possibilities is gardening expert Gary Lewis of Phoenix Perennials. Gary, good to see you.
Good to be back. Thank you for having me.
Is there a renewed interest in having houseplants that are beautiful, but also give us something back in the form of food?
Well, I mean, certainly at the start of COVID, there was a huge explosion of interest in houseplants in general. People collecting all kinds of rare and unusual things because they needed something to do. But now that people have gone with the beauty, they're now interested in, well, what more can that do for me? And of course, we have lots of people interested in food and cooking. We got the foodies out there. So how can they combine houseplants with their interest in food and maybe grow some houseplants that will produce food for them?
Not to mention the cost of food right now is a factor as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so something that's really popular right now, you brought in so many different kinds. Let's start with the citrus, because this is one of the most popular ones you were saying that people like to have.
Citrus are huge. There's such a big variety. So, you know, you could grow your own Meyer lemons and make Meyer lemon pie. The calamansis or calamondins are super popular.
They look like little oranges down in front here.
They do, yeah, but they look like, actually, it's this one here. They're really popular with the Philippine community. All the foodies are crazy about sudachis and yuzus because you use them in ponzu sauce and different sauces and desserts. Or the finger limes, the Australian finger limes, which inside have little caviar, citrus caviar. You break it open and then you use it as a garnish for a little tart treatment on top.
Okay, it's funny because you're holding that. I would think that's a jalapeno just by looking at that.
It looks like a pepper, but it's a weird citrus that grows kind of like a pepper.
Fun. Yeah. I love that. Okay, let's move on to avocado is something that people like to grow as well.
Yeah, you could also grow avocados. Now, this is going to grow into a big houseplant, and you need two to pollinate each other, but they're a beautiful houseplant. They have red new growth, and eventually, you know, you're not going to have enough avocados to do your avocado toast every morning.
Okay.
But you might get a few avocados in time, and then you post that on Instagram, and you brag to your friends.
I did this, I grew this myself.
Exactly, for the dinner party where you get maximum impact.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, also fruit. People love fruit, and passion fruit would be one that people like to grow as well.
So this is how passion fruit grows. It grows as a vine, and you can see we have fruit on it already turning purple.
Wow.
So passion fruit is, you know, it's expensive, but this has about 5 or 6 or 7 different passion fruit all ripening on it right now. You could bring it inside, have it as a vine.
Wow. How long does it take for one piece of fruit to grow?
If you're talking about citrus, they can be ripening for 6 months or more. Passion fruit, probably just a couple months.
Okay, so you get those fairly quickly.
Yeah,
you got to be patient, though. Still got to be patient.
Yeah.
I love the idea of growing olives. I love olives, and a lot of people like to cook with them. And you could have one of these right in your own home.
Yeah, so we've got olives. So you can see they're green turning black right now. So you could grow your own olives. Make sure, though, that you don't eat them fresh off the tree.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
You will never forget the experience because they're extremely bitter. So all olives that we eat are actually cured either in water or brine or in lye in order to take out the bitterness so we can eat them. You can try it right now, but you won't get the taste out of your mouth for about 3 days.
Good tip. Okay. People can actually grow their own tea, and I never even thought about this, but there's a very specific way they could do that.
Yep. So this is a tea plant. It flowers at this time of year, and we harvest the very top little baby leaves.
You say the 3 up top, 3 leaves.
Yeah, when you have a tiny baby leaf, a little bit bigger leaf, and another young leaf. You harvest that, and then you can just let them dry, or you can roast them in the oven at a low temperature, or you can roll them to get a black tea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, we want to talk about the pineapple. This looks like a pineapple, doesn't it?
I mean, it looks just like the top of a pineapple, right? So what this will do is, it's a baby right now. It'll get a fair bit larger. It's a beautiful houseplant, but eventually a pineapple will grow a stem right out the middle, and a little pineapple will stick out the top, and eventually that will ripen, and you could harvest that, and you can make your pineapple upside down cake.
Is that how you actually grow pineapple? You take the top off a pineapple and you just stick it in some dirt? Is there anything specific, like certain soil that any of these plants need? What's best for the soil for these types of plants?
Well, in terms of a pineapple, you could just grow one from the top of a pineapple that you buy in the supermarket.
Wow.
But in terms of growing these plants, generally because they're all shrubby plants, they like a good standard mix with a peat or a coconut coir type base with perlite, but also they like it a little bit chunky. So adding some extra bark or some extra perlite to give them good drainage is important.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Gary, for showing us all of these. We could go on and on, but we're running out of time. One thing that Gary was telling me during the commercial, that these are best to sort of live outside during the summer when it's warm.
It's good
and
if
then
they
inside.
have a summer vacation outside on a patio or balcony in the sun, and then come inside as a beautiful houseplant where you can watch your fruit
Love it.
ripen.
All winter long. Gary, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Pleasure.